this is of course, all of you may be knowing very well what is the price. What we are foreseeing is, in the years to come, the disconnect between the sugarcane price and sugar price may slowly go. There may be a sharing formula of 65-35 between the sugarcane farmer and the miller. If and when that happens, then we find the cyclicality. There are 3-4 factors we will definitely address the cyclicality. One is the sugarcane pricing formula, 65-35 or whatever ratios. Then your friends have come. Then second is the ethanol blending program. Whenever there is a sugarcane surplus, some of the sugar will be converted to ethanol. EBP is second correct driver. Third driver is the integrating of sugar into the global market. We have surplus, we will export, we have a deficit, we will import. These are the 3 factors which are going to address the cyclicality of the sugar industry. Import of white is highly price sensitive, ensuring long-term supply of sugar corrects. It's a really difficult to get a white for trading purposes. It is the raw sugar refining is the one which is going to stay. Then the technology change has to happen in terms of the sulfitation factories. In India, the total sugar is made on double sulfitation. That sulfitation process has to undergo into a raw refining process technology which is called DRPI technology or anything. Worldwide, this is the one which is used, and India is isolated in this case. A country like Pakistan also goes for raw refining process. Probably we may have to migrate into that so that we can definitely produce a product which can be exported, get a product which can be processed after refining. This is world scenario. You can see that 53.5 in 9 and 10, the lowest stocks, and stock and consumption ratio is also lowest. Worldwide, except Brazil, many countries are able to just meet both ends on the sugar or importing. So Brazil, Thailand, and some parts of South America, like Argentina, South Africa, they are the exporters, but they have committed exports. So Brazil is the main player for export of raw, and many countries as importer of raw. This is one graph which I definitely want to talk about it. See, in 1974, there was a when it went up, the peak has gone up to nearly 60, and you see this remained for quite some time. The same thing happened in 1980. Whenever it crossed 30, the peak was about 45. 7 months it peaked above 46 cents. The same situation we are able to see it here, where the moment it crosses 30 cents, which may happen, the same situation, this may go up further and stay for some time. So we think that it is only happening this time. If it crosses a threshold level, then it remains for some time, and that situation has come in the future market of raw sugar, and we expect this. The repeat of 1974 and 80 may happen now. This is the raw sugar trade flows. You can see most of the countries are the only country which is exporting to 23.8, 1.5, and Thailand 5.8. High sugar, raw sugar is difficult to process in India because of very high color, and we don't have that type of definition losses and all we cannot observe. So mostly will be dependent on this. We are trying Argentinian sugar this year, and if we are successful, maybe some other country will go. The sugarcane available Brazilian scenario is this. We have 600 million tons of sugar, higher by 10%. That is a thing which we can look upon to import more raw sugar, and record production of 35 million tons. Allocation of sugar and ethanol is about 54% ethanol and 40% sugar. This is purely because of the domestic demand for the ethanol in Brazil. And ethanol consumption is going to go up because most of the cars are flexi cars there, and that is flexi fuel cost increased to 70%. then substantial increase in sugarcane production is difficult because they also have reached a level where the climate is not favorable to them, and the untimely rains during this campaign period, harvesting campaign, has affected their sugarcane is standing in the fields now, and we expect the same thing to repeat in this year also. So